It's an unfortunate state of events that people relate ghettos to lowlives, criminals, thugs, thieves, pimps, prostitutes, racketeering, gambling, organized crime. But that's not the case, man. You cannot label all of those people, and you can most certainly not lump them into the same gradation. That isn't fair unless you know them all personally. Just because somebody lives in an area that's run down, that's been labeled as a ghetto, doesn't give anybody the right to label them as trash or lowlives or poor people, because that isn't the case. Human beings are energies, just like anything else, and they all deserve respect. Just because you live in a neighborhood that isn't the neighborhood that they live in doesn't give you the right to judge them or make fun of them or believe that they're lowlives or believe that you're better than them or they're lower than you are. That's nonsense. That's all programming. That's how you get these classes, rich class, poor class. It's all nonsense. Classes is classification. You're labeling. You are judging somebody because they don't have enough money, so they're poor. They're a loser. They're nobody. They live in a ghetto. They live in the slums. They live in tenements. They live in poverty. It's just this is just labeling that has to be removed. They live in the projects. They're on welfare and food stamps. These are just people who just don't want to do anything with their life. Well, unless you walk in their shoes, you'll never know what they're going through in their life. And stand on the outside, an objective observer, and judge them is not even close to being anything realistic, because you don't know their journey. You don't know what it took for them to get there or what they've been through. Maybe they fell on hard times. Maybe there was a lot of deaths in the family. Maybe they're disabled. You don't know. You have no idea. So, to lump people into the same gradation is not fair. I hear it all the time. They just label this one area. Oh, that's a ghetto. That's a dump. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's why you have regentrification, to try to revitalize that neighborhood and bring it back. But even then, once that label is ingrained in the subconscious, it becomes indelible in people's memory. They always associate that area with the ghetto, with the dump. Stay away from it. It's dangerous. Like as if in the rich neighborhoods, there's no such thing as crime. Don't forget something. If there wasn't any supply, there wouldn't be any demand. What am I talking about? Cocaine. You get the rich white people living in the high class neighborhoods always going to the ghetto to get the cocaine and the drugs, right? Well, what's up with that? I guess in that instance, those rich white people ain't going to be thinking about these people as ghetto dwellers or something like that. They just need to use them when they want to use them. Tupac said it best. The rich folks have been leeching off the ghetto for years. It's true. It's absolutely true. Seriously straight out truth. Mostly all of the music you listen to comes from people that came from those areas. Because in order for you to live the blues, you have to learn it. And in order for you to learn the blues, you have to live it. What do I mean by that? Well, you have to have had a hard life in order to convey those energies in songs, because pain writes the sweetest melodies. That's why you have such beautiful music, because people have been through such terrible hardships. Like Bob Marley. He was homeless. He was sleeping on the ground with a rock for his pillow, eating out of garbage dumpsters. He even says it. Cold ground was my bed last night and rock was my pillow too. Talking blues, talking blues. That's a true life story of that man. He lived that stuff. That's why he was powerful, because everything he sang, he lived through. You don't know why God chooses us for specific destinies and roles to play and lives to live. We don't know. But the best thing you could do is get out of this prejudice, bigotry mentality that you've been programmed with. Oh, they're in a ghetto, they're lowlives. Don't see it like that. You have to get to know each one of those people, man. They're human beings with lives and equal rights and energy and everything that's equal to you and I and everything else in the universe. Nobody could say you're a bum because you're on welfare and food stamps, you live in a ghetto. That's not right. That's labeling, that's judging, and that's bigotry and prejudice, man. That stuff's got to go. This is archaic technology. I say technology because it's a divisive mechanism that they've been using on people for centuries, and it works. Look in the 40s and the 50s how much racism there were. They were hanging black guys, black men, just because of the color of their skin. Find somebody on the street, hang him by a tree, or they would drag him behind a truck with a chain until he was dead. What's up with that? Just because of the color of somebody's skin? Because these people have been programmed to believe that black is evil, low lives. Oh, if they can move into the neighborhood's going to go down and turn into a ghetto. Just because they've been programmed to believe it. It's what they call white flight. And in the real estate industry, they call it red marking. Like, in other words, if a black family comes to apply for ownership of a home in a white neighborhood, the real estate sales agent will red mark that application, and that'll be a no-go. They call it redlining, I think. It's a real thing, by the way. It's been going on for decades. And they've been suffering inequality for hundreds of years. You know, for what? For the pigmentation of their skin. You know, we're all the same. We're energy, frequency, and vibration, man. Get to know people on a personal level. Don't just judge them in the exterior, like the color of their flesh. Like, I see it all the time. I remember when I was a kid, I used to see it all the time. You see a black guy walking down the street, and you see some white woman clutching her purse, you know, and then walking on the other side of the street like he's going to mug her and kill her or something. It's crazy. You know, it's just ridiculous that people have been programmed to exist in fear of people who have a darker pigmentation. They don't even know these people. So can you imagine what those people go through when they're judged and people don't even know them? They just look at you like, oh, okay. And all of the words come out, you know, and all of the ideas come out of the conjuring of the programming kicks in, you know, that this guy's black, so he's a lowlife, he's ghetto, he's probably a pimp or a drug dealer, and just he's written off as such. They don't even know the guy, you know. Then they have racial profiling where these people are actually pulled out of their cars. All they want to do is just go on with their lives about their business like everybody else. But because their skin is darker, nah, he's a criminal. Yank him out of the car. It's just crazy. It's crazy. This is the polarized society, the polarized mentality. White is good, black is evil. Look in their dictionary. They're telling you exactly what they want you to think. You got to break free from this archaic, antiquated, prehistoric, you know, I don't even know the word, man, you know? It's just horrible. It's just so, it's a throwback to a time when it worked for them. And in a lot of ways, they're still doing it. So it's up to you to say enough is enough. I'm not going to buy into it anymore, you know? Assess people on a personal human level by getting to know that, man. If you get bad vibes off of somebody, energy never lies, so stay away. It doesn't matter what color their skin is. I mean, it doesn't, I'm going to end the video with this. Forget about being preoccupied with the color of somebody's skin. The only thing that matters is the color of somebody's soul, like your aura. That's it. The color of your energy. Is it a rainbow? Is it light? Is it heavy? You know, that's what you need to assess people by. If you get a bad vibe, go by that. Don't go by the color of somebody's skin. You know, it's just nonsense. Absolute nonsense. And this archaic mentality, it's got to go.